Alrighty, also, this is gonna be a shorter video. The whole purpose for me making this video is to spread awareness about smoking. So, I started smoking cigarettes at age 10 thanks to my, at the time, 15-year-old cousin. And I smoked cigarettes all the way up until the past 2 weeks of my life. So, 13 years. I started vaping in around 2018. So, for the past 6 years, I've been doing that on top of cigarettes as well. I recently quit cold turkey because it was getting to a point where I was laying in my bed, twitching, borderline seizing, heart pounding so hard, I'm surprised I didn't die. And about every 5 minutes, right at this part of my neck, I would get a knife stabbing pain, as well as wheezing and coughing up mucus and a ton of other symptoms. Two weeks ago was my last cigarette, and I've hit a vape probably about 4 times in the past 2 weeks. 4 times, that's it. Maybe 6. When I was extremely stressed. When I tell you guys that I really did feel like I was going to die from COPD or cancer, regardless of whether I stopped or not, that is how I felt. 2 weeks prior to 2 weeks ago, I was on and off quitting and not quitting. And I noticed in between the times that I would not hit a vape for 12 to 24 hours, I would be, horrifyingly sick, deathly ill, to the point where I could barely crawl out of my bed. So sick. And still coughing. And what's even crazier, not even just the cigarettes, but what's really dark about the vape itself is, one, its availability. Actually, no, there's a lot of things. 2, the flavors are better than cigarettes. 3, it's a slower depreciation of your lungs, so you don't notice it. And 4, you can actually breathe better when you vape versus not vape, which is the opposite of cigarettes, where usually when you're smoking a cigarette, you cough your brains out. Or with a vape, when you don't have it, your lungs start to seize up. And I noticed these patterns. I know I've been known to be delusional, but I'm actually really, really smart and have had a lot of people tell me that. And you can trust me. Now, some people don't give a fuck. Some people are watching this and saying, I don't give a shit. I want to die anyways. Good for you. I don't want to die that young. However, I will say, is your entire life, which, whether you think it's shitty or not, just your birth, just you at age 0, not to mention the experiences and person you are and things you build around you, but just your birth alone. I've looked it up on YouTube, and I kind of knew it anyways, but it's even more rare than I thought. The chance of your existence is like nothing. It's like 0.00000000000000001% chance that you exist right now. Not to mention existing in the time of cell phones and like easy fucking food access and shit. It's crazy. I can guarantee you that if we took 90% of this population today and threw them in the wild, they would all die within a week. Guarantee it. But that's besides the point. It'll never probably come to that unless we have some crazy nuclear bullshit. But anyways, what I was going to say is your life that was gifted to you by God, and the chance of you existing is already rare as it is it worth a cigarette and vape company to make maybe $30,000 from you over your entire lifetime and you to just die that way? Do you really want to give your life? Because whether you believe it or not, you are a slave to a company, which we all are anyways. We're a slave to a government. We're a slave to greed regardless. But how much are you going to feed that shit? You feel me? That's why I stopped drinking, stopped getting high, stopped vaping. And honestly, if you're smart enough, and that's the other thing I want to say too, obviously this is mainly cigarettes and shit. But before I get into to what I noticed after I quit, I want to say that, if you put your mind to it and shut people out of your life, the only person the only person's ass that you got to truly kiss ass to is your boss. You don't have to answer to anyone else, is what I've learned. And if you have a significant other and you love someone enough and they love you back, like my girlfriend, and a few of my buddies I know, they have girlfriends that love them like that too, they're worth keeping too. But everyone else can suck a dick. That's how you get rich and popular, if you even want that. Not even just rich, like enough money to survive and give to your children. The reason why I want to be rich is to have a wife and children and be able to do what my mother left for me, which is give me a gift of an inheritance. Because whether my mom realized it or not, my adoptive mom, her mother worked in a printing company in the 1950s and 60s, which was dirt poor money. Lived in a shit house, actually not too far from where I live, and at Wanaka Beach. And her father disowned her mother and her, didn't give her a single penny. But what happened to my mother, which actually that means it started technically with my mom's father, Sterling, but he 2 weeks after this man retired at age 65, 2 weeks, my mom told me, 2 weeks after he retired, because he was known to be a cock-sucking son of a bitch, is what she told me. 2 weeks after he retired from a postal service job, he had a heart attack behind the wheel of his car and crashed into a telephone pole. And my mother was listed at, even though he kind of disowned her, he still left her as a beneficiary. So my mom, who at the time was a dental hygienist, making like not that much money, was able to afford to go to college to be a surgical dentist, giving me the opportunity to truck drive, which means I can encourage my children. What I truly want to do, because I am so obsessed with it too, is I want to truck drive and make a ton of money. Either upgrade this house or own a new one with a wife and kids. I want to push my kids. If they don't want to do it, they don't. But I hope I have about 3 or 4 sons out of the 5 kids I plan on having, or maybe 4 or 3 kids, whatever. Because I want to encourage at least one of my sons to join the NFL, or to try to make it to the NFL. I want to play ball with them, and I want to practice with them and get them into high school, college, and hopefully in the NFL. I want my son to be famous. I hope if I have 3 sons, here's what I'd hope for all 3 of them. One tries to join the NFL, the other goes into the military, and the other one does something on American soil. But that's besides the point. Fuck all that. That's my plan. But what I want to say is it's been 2 weeks since I quit smoking. 2 weeks ago, the day I smashed my vape on the ground and said, fuck this. I could barely inhale. I was coughing up mucus, wheezing, coughing when I shouldn't have been. I had symptoms of what seemed to be COPD, which is a degenerative lung disease that eventually kills you. When I would inhale and exhale or get anxious, it would happen like every 5 to 10 minutes. I would get this extreme pain in my throat on the right side. Extreme pain. Now I'm at the 2-week mark. I can breathe absolutely clearly. I'm not coughing at all. And that pain is almost completely eradicated to the point where it's barely noticeable, almost completely gone. My heart is not skipping beats. I can run and do exercise longer without being winded or feeling like I'm going to have a heart attack. I mean, that right there is a miracle, for one, because let's look at the statistics. It has been proven that nicotine has been proven to be more addictive than crack and heroin. Less destructive and you won't die right away? Yes. But in the end, will you die? A nasty, disgusting death? Fuck yeah. But I feel so much better since I quit smoking and vaping. Now, granted, every once in a while, I'll get that pain in my chest. Yes. But compared to like the every half hour, I get it like once or twice a day now, not even. And when it happens, it dissipates quickly. Which means probably in about a month to 2 months, and especially a year from now, I'll be good to go. And they say if I stay off this shit for 15 years, I'll probably live as long as a non-smoker. Like, it'll be like I never even picked up a cigarette or a vape. So, what I want to say is fuck nicotine, fuck smoking, fuck vaping, fuck those companies. I encourage everyone that I know to quit. And if you don't, that's your choice. But just letting you know, there's a lot more power and a brighter side on the other side of that door. A lot. So